Hello YouTube and fellow preppers, I am Geordie Prepper. I'm in day 48 of my 90-day fitness program. I just went for a cycle ride this morning. Not long been back, and I thought I would just do a video on what I take with me when I'm cycling. Obviously the cyclists will take the usual stuff with them, like puncture repair kits, etc. A cycle pump to blow up your tyres again if you do in fact have a puncture. I just thought I'd take you through my bag though, and there might be some things in here that you might want to take, or maybe you have some things as a prepper in your cycle backpack that you take which you think I would be interested in. So I would love to see what you take with you. So we'll start off with some of the external things first. I have the eGuardian rear light here and a strobe warning. It doesn't show up very well obviously during the light, but if you look at it straight on, you can see it from very far away. It's a really cool light, and the batteries last for ages. I just twist the pocket ties together just so that when I'm cycling that they don't accidentally work their way up and undo the pocket. So the first thing that you come to is first aid kit. There's nothing in here really for trauma, it's just for grazes and cuts and small things that you'd stick a plaster on. There is some tape in there and obviously a small roll of bandage, but it's nothing too major. In this one here it has some sterile fluid to wash out wounds and eyes with, and they're in a waterproof bag. The bag itself is pretty much waterproof, I would say. There is a small problem with it letting in water around the sunglass pocket, but I think I might have fixed that, and I've also recently waterproofed it again. What I have here on the keeper is just a backup torch. The next thing that we come to is some sterile hand wash in case I'm doing first aid on myself or I need to do for someone else. When I was getting first into prepping, I was going to the pound shop and I was buying some cheapy things, and most of the contents of this bag are some remnants of when I was buying the cheap crap and I was first into prepping, and these are a legacy thing from that. It's just some 2 light sticks. I will replace them with NATO ones if I find out that they don't work. Cycle clips, but I don't really use them to be honest. I've just got them in there just in case. Here is a top peak or 2 peak ratchet set. It has 2 plastic clips there just for removing tyres from the wheels, and an extender there. And then obviously there's the ratchet itself. Many different sized tools which I can use on the bike. The next thing I have is a Fresnel lens and stainless steel, just multi-tool type thing. Just goes into each other like that. Kleenex, tissues. And then again from the pound shop, this is just an emergency blanket. And here's the main puncture repair kit. It has pretty much everything in there that I would need to repair punctures, but I also have a pencil sharpener for creating kindling if I need to make a fire. In the expandable pouch in here, I have a pocket rocket, cycle pump, and it has many different configurations so that it's set up for my tyres and the valve that's on my tyres, but you can configure the head here to fit just about any type of valve that so if I come across someone who's got a flat tyre but they have a different valve to me, then I can configure this to work on their valves. And then I just have a plastic bag in case I want to just pick some wild fruit and then bring it home with me. And then in here we have the Sunglass Patch, and in there I keep spare batteries for the cat eye torches, cycle lights, so AA's for the front light and a couple of AAA rechargeable inner loops for the rear light. I keep sunglasses in here, and also in there is a chapstick. So going into the main pouch now, it's just a small clip. It's from the button compass which I've got in the kit inside here. So going into the main compartment now, I have a small 1 litre waterproof pouch thing. It's basically in case I need to carry anything electrical with me, such as I put my mobile phone in here, just as a secondary layer to the protection that the bag gives from the rain. And then I have some rope here. It's from the pound shop. It's not really rope, it's just like it's almost like a plastic. It's basically just to keep as an awning for the sleep shelter, so it's just to keep the shelter in its correct configuration. It's not for, it could have some other uses, but that's the main use. It's just to go through the sleep system, which I'll show you in a second. Here I have an OtterBox, which I was inspired by main prepper, who was a really good prepper, and his channel was a huge source and influence to me. Unfortunately, the channel's been taken down, so those videos are no longer available, but he used the smaller OtterBox than this one. But this OtterBox was my main level 0 bug out kit, but I've since configured it more for use for cycling, so I won't go into the contents in this video, but if you do want to see what's in here, then just let me know. Attached to it I have another carabiner and small silver button compass that the other carabiner is from, a Life Systems whistle, and just a small Gerber torch which has a high and low mode, flashing mode. It's just a cool little torch which I could use as a backup. The main cover system and system I have to shelter in is this military poncho. A lot of preppers and bushcrafters use these. They're really good. It's totally awesome poncho, and this is the main shelter that I carry with me at all times when I'm cycling. Really, as a backup to the poncho, I have this emergency shelter, which again was from the pound shop, so there's a lot of items in here which I got when I was early on in my preparedness. So that's just an emergency shelter, and the rope which I got is basically just to keep the roof of the shelter up. And in here we have a ground sheet and a tarp. Again, the rope can be used to set up the tarp, and I have some tent pegs in here just to keep the ground sheet in place, or they could also be used for the poncho because that does have eyelet holes in it, so, and they are reinforced eyelets as well, so I can use these for the poncho to set it up as a lean-to shelter, or I can set up this tarp and use the pegs for the ground sheet. I do carry with me these obviously just in case I do need to spend the night somewhere. So the scenario which I'm preparing for is if I have an accident on my bike, if I come off my bike, if it's in quite a remote location and I'm injured, then I'll need to have some sort of cover on me to keep the elements off me, especially if it's raining. Turning the bag over now, we'll go into the water bladder compartment, and basically this is a 3 litre water bladder, and I have the camelback hose here. It's basically the insulated tube, and it has a cover for the mouthpiece. The reason I got this was because when I was cycling along the route that I do, it's a path, and obviously there's a lot of dust kicked up from the tyres, and I was finding that it was just getting covered in muck, which wasn't very nice when I was going to take a drink from it. So I bought the insulated hose, and it obviously comes with a cover here for the mouthpiece, so that was a great addition. I don't have it on the pack all the time though, because the water bladder acts as weight. That's the purpose for it at the minute. I do carry a water bottle with me in addition to having the water bladder in here. So as well as the items in the backpack, I do carry some other things with me which have some different uses. The main front light, which I've shown you in a previous video, which I'll link below in the description. This is obviously the main light for my bike, but because of the beveled edge, I can also use it as a strike implement. So it's a self-defense option, or if I come across a road traffic accident and I need to get to someone who's in a vehicle, then I could use it to smash the window. Self-defense options that I have with me is a tactical pen. You know, if you hit someone in the face with that, they're definitely going to know about it. I also carry some fob gel. It's more of a distraction. It's not going to impede anyone in any way. It's just a distraction tool, basically. I do have it wrapped in Gorilla Tape though, so if I do present it to someone, they're not going to see that it is just fob gel. You know, they might think that it's something else. So it just gives them something else to think about. If they intend to cause me harm and I need to defend myself, it's not like when stuff hits the fan, when you're going to be carrying mace and pepper spray with you, that sort of thing. I also obviously have a helmet. You know, I do wear a helmet when I'm cycling. Obviously there's absolutely no requirement to do so. It's entirely up to you whether you want to wear a helmet or not. I just think it does offer a bit of protection, but it's obviously not going to help you in every situation, but it does have some advantages. The other thing I do is carry these Bolly safety goggles. These are the ballistic ones. It's in case anything like any chip-ins or anything come up, and if they hit these goggles, then they're not going to crack and they're not going to break, which could obviously, if something is to hit your eye when you're cycling, then it can be very distracting and it may cause an accident for you or someone else. So these are the protection that I carry early on in the morning when it's still dark, and then obviously if it's a nice day and the sun's out, then I'll switch to the sunglasses, which offer some protection from the glare of the sun. So I'll wear these in the dark, and obviously I can just switch between them and put them in the sunglass pouch. So I carry these. I usually start with these and then switch to the sunglasses later on in the cycle ride once the sun comes up, or if the sun's low down in the horizon. So that's it, guys. That's basically everything that I carry with me when I'm cycling. So there's some things obviously in the backpack which maybe a lot of people don't carry with them. If you think there's anything that I think would be useful for me, then just please let me know. Or, you know, if you want to put a video up of what you take when you're cycling, then I'd love to see it. So this is Geordie Prepper saying be safe and be prepared.